Review Request Week continues. Today, I'm going to be reviewing something that was requested a long time ago. Many people have requested this album, and I've been very reluctant to even listen to it, mainly because I have no interest in this next artist. But I have received several requests to review Avenged Sevenfold's Nightmare. And being the nice person that I am, I decided to go ahead, listen to the album, and I gotta tell you, no. Never again. Never again am I going to listen to another album by this artist. Before I even listened to this album, I've heard a few of their works, a few songs from them, and again, they weren't interesting. They're not. Avenged Sevenfold's Nightmare is a very bland album, and I know a lot of people are going to come out from this from the depths of YouTube comment boxes. I don't know. I'm lacking creativity here. And they're going to say, well, how can you disrespect an album that was supposed to be a memorial towards one of their dead band members? It's not a good album. Pure and simple. Okay. The first thing that gets on my nerves when I listen to Avenged Sevenfold, the vocals. The vocals are layered vocals, and the way that they have these vocals layered, it just pisses me off. It annoys the piss out of me every time I hear these layered vocals, because they're layered. Because the way they're layered, I don't know. It just doesn't sound right. It sounds like it's wrong. It sounds like shit, is what I'm getting at here. There's no... on this album, I did not hear one memorable guitar riff. There's a shit ton of acoustic work on this album, though. You know, for a heavy metal band, you know, if they keep it up, they're going to become an acoustic... an acoustic folk band. I mean, damn. It's like you have my mind is blanking right now because I can't even get creative. I cannot get creative with the way to show how much this album pisses me off when I listen to it. It's so bland, so generic. I mean, can you get even more generic than this? I mean, why? Who allows these people to produce records? Who lets them do this? It's fucking mole rat metal is what it is. This is the shit that Hot Topic markets all the fucking time. I mean, there's heavy metal, and then there's rock and roll, there's shit, and then there's Avenged Sevenfold. And I know some of my subscribers had a really positive outlook when they requested this album. They're like, I'm really looking forward to hearing what you have to say about this album. Because they enjoyed the album. And if you enjoyed the album, that's great. Go ahead. Enjoy the album as much as you want. But I can't listen to this shit. I'm sorry. And then when I start looking up records about this album to see if it won any awards or anything like that, that was the final nail in the coffin, to see how many awards this album actually won. And I'm sitting there and I'm just shaking my head in disbelief. How can an album this bad, a band this bad, get this far? But then again, we also live in a world where Justin Bieber and Lady Gaga exist. Granted, that's not a fair comparison because they're two entirely different genres, but it's the same principle. I mean, the only reason why I would recommend this album to somebody is to say, here, if you're looking to make a record, whatever you do, don't do this. And then hand them a copy of Nightmare. I never want to see this album again. And then, oh, here's an even better one. I look in the comments section on YouTube for some of these songs, and I think the one that stood out the most was, it was a girl, and she said that, my boyfriend said Avenged Sevenfold sucks. Now he's single. Just kidding, he's dead. And I laughed. Of course I laughed at that, at the amount of stupidity that's in that statement, but I wanted Review Request Week to be a happy time. A happy, holiday-filled time. But Nightmare is the coal in my stocking. Nightmare is my watered-down eggnog. Nightmare is my burnt Christmas ham. If I had to give a numerical grade for Nightmare, and for some of you who probably don't understand my grading system, probably won't understand this grade, but I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. A lot of people seem to misunderstand my grading system. They think, well, why don't you give it like a 1 out of 10 or a 0 out of 10? I go, well, a 0 out of 10 means that I didn't make it through the album at all. If it's a 0 or a 1, I probably only, on an album review, then I probably only listened to a couple of songs before I had to say, I'm fucking done. But no, I made it through all of this album, and I can't do this anymore. I can't listen to that anymore. My ears have been raped. They need a hot shower to wash the dirty away. It amazes me. It really does amaze me when bands like this sell millions of copies. How they do it, I don't know. I guess maybe I can start playing a bunch of generic shit on my guitar and then get signed almost instantaneously. And then what do you know, I'm making money. I'm making fucking money. So for all of you who requested this album review, you know, if you feel disappointed in the way that I've presented my review of this album, tough. Because I can't stand this. And the fact that albums like this even exist, it's the bane of my existence. 3 out of 10. Danny here from Metal Couch, signing off.